I might have a problem. I have a lot of ebooks for my Kindle. Really, I have a lot of ebooks for my Kindle. Hello, welcome to my channel, another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg, and today I'm going to give you a little tour of the books that I have on my Kindles. I have two Kindles. This is the first edition Kindle Scribe. I like it a lot because it has a large screen and you can get a lot of text on this screen. You also have this pen where you can write notes on your book if you are the note-taking type of reader. I'm not really a note-taking kind of reader, but it's there if I wanted to. I also have a Kindle Color Soft. This is essentially a Kindle Paperwhite with a color screen. Honestly, I'm not perfectly happy with the color screen. It's okay. You do get to see your covers in a little bit of color, even though it's a little washed out. You can take notes and highlights in cover. But other than that, I find the color really not all that useful, mostly because I don't read manga or comic books, which would be useful on this Color Soft. But I'm not talking about the actual devices today. I'm talking about the books that I have on my Kindles. And I will use my Scribe as my examples of what I have. Now, before I get into the actual books that I have, I want to talk a little bit about the stability of ebooks. There are a lot of Chicken Littles on the internet who will say if you buy ebooks, you are at risk of losing your ebooks because evil companies like Amazon or Apple can delete your ebooks because you're only purchasing a license. That's sort of true and sort of not true. Let me get back into a little bit of history. Before the Kindle, you would have a handheld device like a PDA, either from Compaq or Dell. And if you wanted to go out and buy an ebook, you could. I purchased ebooks from a number of places. I did purchase a number of Microsoft Reader ebooks from Amazon before they released the Kindle. And what would happen is you would go to the website, you would order your ebook, and then you get an email saying, within 24 hours, we will send you a link. And they did. And once you got that link, you had either a week or maybe 2 weeks to download your ebook. And after that time period elapsed, you could no longer download the ebook, but you had it on your computer, and then you could use a wire to transfer it to your handheld device. That's the way that ebooks used to work. Once the Kindle came out, you were able to download them directly to your device. But allowing the direct download also created an issue. Amazon could also technically remove that ebook that you purchased. This happened in 2009 with the 1984 debacle. A third-party seller uploaded ebooks of 1984, an Animal Farm, even though they did not have the license to sell those books. And when it was pointed out by the publisher, Amazon decided to remove the books from people's Kindles, refund the customers. That sounded very practical to the management at the time, but there was a massive backlash against Amazon for doing that. And at the time, the CEO, that would have been Jeff Bezos, said, he apologized. And he said, we would not repeat that approach. And to the most part, they have not done so. After 2009, there is no widely documented, verified case of Amazon remotely deleting legitimately purchased ebooks from customer libraries in the same way it did with 1984. Every ebook that I have purchased from Amazon since 2008 is there more or less, I think. I cannot verify every ebook I've ever purchased, but last year what I did is go through my database of ebooks read and checked it against the library that I bought from Amazon. And every book that I read in 2008 in 2009 that I purchased from Amazon is still available on my Kindle. Now, some of those books are out of print and no longer available for purchase, but they still are available for me to download. But there are many content creators on the internet that are decrying that Amazon can delete your books, and maybe someday they will do it. Technically, that is possible. When you purchase a Kindle ebook from Amazon, you are not actually buying a book. What you're buying is an entitlement record that is attached to your account. That entitlement record says you are allowed to download that Kindle ebook. There are some restrictions on some books. Some books from major publishers are limited to 6 items on 6 different devices at one time. Others are completely open. It's up to the publisher. But why would Amazon start deleting people's books? Books can be removed from sale from their website. Publishers pull rights, authors change distributors, books go out of print, new editions replace old editions, but you will always have access to the original edition that you purchased. You are not entitled to a new edition if there is one. In essence, I don't think it's realistic for people to be worried about their ebooks disappearing from Amazon. Yes, technically, Amazon could go out of business and the access to your ebooks would disappear. But realistically, how possible is it that Amazon would suddenly go out of business? You actually have a much better chance of your house burning down and losing all your physical books in your home. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. This is my Kindle. How many Kindle books do I have? I do organize my Kindle books into collections. Collections are entirely optional per reader. There are no set collections. You have to create your own. Now, I have a number of different collections, and I'm just going to be going through those so you get an idea of what's on my Kindle. My first collection is the Aubrey Maturin series, and I have 6 of that series. I have anthologies and omnibuses. I have 47 of those. I have Albert Camus. I like Albert Camus, and I have 6 books by him. I have 6 books in the revised Kong Chau series by David Wingrove. These were science fiction novels originally published in the 90s about what would happen if China took over the world. They were really excellent science fiction novels. Unfortunately, they were also very long, and when the author got ready to publish his last volume, the publisher said, nope, this book is too long, cut it down by half, and the series just sort of died out because the last book apparently was really rather bad. But he started republishing them in the aughts and revising them, but he divided each book into 2 so he could sell the book twice. And I only have 6 of those, so I really only have the original 3 novels. They're still really good science fiction novels. I have 8 volumes of a Winston Churchill biography. Now, under classics and literature, I have 929 books. Crime, mystery, and suspense, I have 502 books. I have the Cromwell trilogy by Hilary Mantel. I have 8 books by Fyodor Dostoevsky, 10 books by William Faulkner. I have 7 Ernest Hemingway books. I have 274 horror books. I have the 11 books in the Lanny Budd series by Upton Sinclair. Upton Sinclair was a left-leaning, socialist-leaning author from the early part of the 20th century. He is more famously known for his novel, The Jungle. I have 20 books by John le Carré. I have 355 works of nonfiction. I have 15 books from the NYRB Classics publisher. 427 science fiction and fantasy books. I have 97 books from my wife's account. Amazon allows you to share your account with one other person, and my wife has purchased 97 Kindle books over her time, a lot less than me. I have 118 books from standardebooks.org. Standardebooks.org republishes public domain books, and they do an excellent job at formatting their ebooks. They have nowhere near as much as Project Gutenberg, but the formatting on Project Gutenberg is, let's just say, a little weak. You have to put up with some weak formatting. But standardebooks.org does a fantastic job formatting their books. And if you want a public domain book, I highly recommend going to their website first to see if they have an edition. You have to download their ebooks to either your phone or your computer, and then you have to transfer it over to your Kindle. There is a very nifty feature that Amazon offers. It is called Send to Kindle, and that allows you to send a lot of different formats to your Kindle, and they will format it directly for your Kindle, and then it will always be available for you to download on other Kindles, such as your Kindle Paperwhite or your iPhone. So again, standardebooks.org is the place to go for public domain books. I have 16 books from the Polish science fiction author Stanislaw Lem. These books are also included in my science fiction collection because a book can be in any number of collections. But I separate them out just so I can easily find all of his books. I have 5 books by John Steinbeck, 10 books by Stephen King. I have 18 books of verse or poetry and 12 works of Kurt Vonnegut, even though I own all these Kurt Vonnegut books in a nicely printed Library of America hardcover edition. And last but not least, I have 9 Western books. But how many Kindle books do I actually have? I will hold up my Kindle, and on the left side, there is this icon right below the search bar. And if you click it, it will bring up this information. I have downloaded onto this Kindle 2,613 ebooks. It says 1,867 are unread and 920 are read. There are 2,501 books. There are 115 samples. There are 137 documents. Documents include any sort of item that you send to your Kindle, such as standardebooks.org. And I have available 1,497 Audible books. You are able to download an Audible book to your Kindle and listen with Bluetooth headphones. It also says that I have checked out 17 library loans on my Kindle. So in essence, the final answer is I have 2,613 books on my Kindle. That is a lot of Kindle books. I actually have more than that. I have these CDs from blackmask.com back in the early aughts, and this was before Kindle was available. They were a website that provided public domain books, and they were really fantastic. I purchased the series of 6 CDs that contain a little over 10,000 public domain books. Unfortunately, the format here is PDF and HTML. Now, PDF format is absolutely horrid on a Kindle, in my personal opinion, but the HTML formats are fine if you use a program like Calibre to convert them to a Kindle accessible format. But again, these are 10,000 ebooks. I'm not going to live long enough to read them all. So those are the books that I have on my Kindle. For grins and giggles, I went back to my Amazon site and looked at the first Kindle book that I ever purchased. That was Caught Stealing by Charlie Hudson. This is the first book in the Henry Thompson series or trilogy, and it's a really good crime series or trilogy, and that cost me $8.66, and I purchased it on April 18th, 2008. The last book that I purchased for my Kindle was Prisoner of the Devil by Michael Hardwick. This is a Sherlock Holmes pastiche novel where Sherlock Holmes investigates the Dreyfus case in France. I purchased this on January 22nd, 2026 for $4.99. Yes, I am technically on a book buying ban, but since I'm going to be reading The Prisoner of the Devil for the Holmes is Where the Heart Is reading event, I'm allowed to purchase it. Thank you for watching and keep on reading.